Good evening, everybody. Welcome to a special Monday edition of the Sully Squad. We got a lot to get into tonight. Obviously, we got Game 5 of the Sixers, so we're hoping that the Sixers can close them out. We have some, issues with Embiid's thumb, so that's a problem. But I feel pretty confident tonight. I think we're going to close them out, and we're also going to get into some NFL draft talk. So we're a little late. I had some technical issues here, but we're going to get into it here. So I have my man Diego in the Joel Embiid jersey. He's a member of the Sully Squad. And I got my man Paul Spencer from the 215. It's 215 boys, right, Paul?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. So anyway, make sure you check out his Cowboy show.
My bad, guys. I think it's a noise down.
Yeah. So with Diego. So anyway. I guess the main issue that we have right here is this: we got a huge Sixers game tonight. So let's get into this. I'm going to start off. What is your keys for Game 5 tonight? What's your keys to get this W? Diego, I'll ask you first.
Rebounding. So in the first 4 games of this series, we've out-rebounded them by 18. The only game we didn't out-rebound them is Game 4. They out-rebounded us by 5. They had a lot of second-chance points. And to me, that was the difference. They beat us by 8. You know what I mean? And to me, it was Embiid's turnovers and their second-chance points that killed us off offensive rebound. So to me, they got to get back to what they did in the first 3 games. Team rebounding, get the boards, and get up court.
Yeah, Paul, what's your keys?
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I mean, last game, I don't want to bring up the referees, but there was a lot of no calls there. That was probably the worst officiated game I could see in a long time with any NBA game. But I'm not going to leave it there. I just like Diego said, the rebounding, we have to be on point. And tonight, I think it's going to be a blowout. I think they're going to show up in front of the crowd and make an exclamation point tonight. I think it's just going to be an all-around Sixer victory where all 3 show up. Embiid's just going to go off. There's going to be no pain. But I think and plus the Toronto Raptors are missing a lot. VanVleet is out as well. He's totally out. Barnes is still coming off the injury. So they're going to be kind of depleted. But I think if they play a Sixer game, just to their potential, I think it's going to be easy blowout.
They should be happy to be home, too.
Exactly.
It seems like that's what they wanted in that game. They just wanted to get home. So you're home now. Take care of business. Get a couple days off. Let's go for the second round.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, our man Chris Rapizzi checking in. He said Fred VanVleet not playing tonight. That's a huge. Mm-hmm. That's huge. And then I got my man Sean Kilrain. Well, he's saying what? But I say he probably meant to say what's up. So what's up, Sean? How you doing, man?
Yeah, what's good?
What's that?
I said, yeah, what's good, everybody?
I know, right? So, yeah, man, here we go. That's my man, Sean Kilrain. He said, what's up, guys? Stop the fast points and get rebounds like Diego said. Yeah, that's true, because that was, one of the big keys in Game 4. I mean, the Sixers made a lot of, I got to admit, when I started watching that game, I was feeling an L. You know what I'm saying? To me, that looked like a loss, but the Sixers were in that game. One of the big aspects was they were doubling Embiid. Embiid was turning the ball over. They were turning the ball over in general. I think Toronto in like the late 3rd, early 4th quarter had about 14 or 16 points on breakouts. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're not going to win many basketball games like that.
Well, you look at a lot of it. Embiid he needs to be more impatient. I mean, patient in the double teams.
Let it come to him.
Exactly. I mean, he was throwing the ball before the double team even came. I mean, with the shooters that you have on the court, I mean, you got to wait till that double team comes. You're 7 foot. You can oversee those, defenders. Pop the ball out to the first, outlet. If that outlet converts, then you got a man wide open in the corner somewhere. He has to be more patient for that. Trust your shooters.
He's trying to make cross-court passes out of a double team that's coming. It's like, find the closest guy to you, because that's where the double team came from.
Exactly.
I was from the closest guy to you. Let's get the ball to him.
And usually
he's being impatient. He's running out, and then he's trying to make a decision before the decision's even there. He threw like 3 or 4 balls right out of bounds.
Right. You got to look for the double team wherever it's come. Just like you said, even if they're playing it like it's a sort of a zone, the closest man, that man's going to be wide open. It's not going to be a cross-court pass. It never is. And he gave up 2 or 3 turnovers. That converted to 6 points. That was huge. Huge.
And I don't like putting a lot on Embiid because Embiid does a lot for us, but hey, he's a star that you can't be making them plays in a playoff game. Now, granted, he played lights out 3 games before, and he contributes every single night. whether it looks like he's having a bad game or not, he's still contributing. He still gets 25 points.
Mm-hmm.
But he's got to take some fault for that game, last game, and the bad decision-making by him, because it ain't the first time we're seeing bad decision-making by Embiid. Every time the pressure gets a little tough, he buckles down. He turned the ball over 8 times last year in the last game against Atlanta. So he's got to sharpen up in these tough situations. And sweeping somebody is tough. It's not easy.
It's not easy.
You know? But when you got a superstar that can take over a game like Embiid, he's got to take that game over. He's got to get us that sweep. He's got to get the team the time to get them extra couple days. And he didn't do that last game.
Especially when you have 2 alpha players and you got Harden and Embiid out there. I mean, yeah, the sweep is really hard to do. It's, you're playing when the other team's down 3-0, you're playing with house money. You know that, Diego. And it's very hard to sweep somebody. But then again, just like you said, you have an alpha player in Embiid, and then you got Harden, and then you got Maxey, then you got Tobias. You have these players. Play Sixer fundamental basketball, and you can beat anybody, honestly.
I agree, 100%.
Yeah, well, I mean that's one of those things. I mean, you look at the injury factor. That's one of the things I wanted to get into, because that could that plays a role, I think, in the turnovers. I mean, I know he's playing through the injury, but it makes it hard for him to what do you call it? Make those passes. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. But I mean, being 7-1, just be patient a little bit. You can oversee. I mean, there's no 7-footer on the Toronto Raptors. You got their guards at like 6'5", 6'6", and Embiid's 7 foot. Be patient and just swing the ball out to your closest man that the defender just gave up. It's very easy. That person can drive the lane, coming right down the lane, and for an easy 2, get fouled, especially if it's Harden. It's easy.
I think Embiid. Another reason because the first 3 games he was accepting the double team. He was fine with it.
Mm-hmm.
That thumb injury, when you get doubled and it gets tight there, you're trying to move around, you're banging your elbow up against arms and stuff. He's trying to avoid that situation, in my opinion, last game. And that's why when he caught it, he was already moving before the double team was coming, so he could make a decision too quick, because he didn't want to get in them big bang plays.
Right.
When you get double teamed, it gets tight. It's tough. You gotta fight through double teams. You're gonna bang your thumb up against a body. It's gonna get hit. They're gonna swipe at your hands. That's what I think he was trying to avoid last game.
And I agree with that point right there. I agree with that point right there. Just like you said, it's tough when you have a thumb injury. I mean, that's your balanced finger on your hand. It's tough to catch a ball. And I think it's a mental thing right there, Diego. Like you pretty much said, when you catch the ball, are you really ready to put it on the ground, because you can't control the ball with that offhand or whatever? So you're going to, you don't want the double team, because your only thing you can do is spin the ball out. But maybe that's what it is a mind thing. But I just hope tonight he learned from, the game tape and saying, hey, look, I know I got Maxey. I know I got Harden. I got Tobias spotting up. All I got to do is find that defender, and we're good to go. It's gold.
Yeah, what I'm really looking for, and I'm dying to fucking say it, can we get a James Harden 30-point game? Maybe like 11 for 17 shooting, 4 or 5 from the 3. Like, can we get that? Can we give him a day off, let him not have to do too much, and get Harden step up?
I feel like
that's what this team's needing right now. We already have Maxey step up. Harris been there all season, and Embiid's getting his even with the thumb. Like, we need James to give us that Harden game. Take the series over. Win us this game.
You've been waiting for that. You've been waiting for that one.
Well, that's what Chris Rapizzi's saying here. He said James got to stop trying to get fouled. Just let it happen. I mean, we know we need him to have a huge game. You know what I mean?
And I get he wants to get everybody involved, because he's the point guard who wants to get everybody involved. You see Chris Paul the other night in game 3 in the 4th quarter. He got everybody involved for 3 quarters. The 4th quarter was his. We had to take this 2-1 lead, because we got a game 4 that's going to be tough. Obviously, they lost it. What Chris Paul doing game 3? He took that quarter over. He wasn't giving the ball up. That's what we need James to do tonight. Give me that 30-point game. We're trying to scramble and to stop you, and they can't. They got no answers for you.
Yeah, there's a time to be a floor general out there, and then there's a time that you need to know when you need to take over the game, which he did in game 3. He totally did that. First 3 quarters, he was still like assist here, assist there. Then the 4th quarter came, it went cold. Hey, now it's to my time. It's my team. Let's go. Get on my back and let's go.
Exactly. 100%. That's what I'm looking for, James. That's what I want to see. He's been playing good, great point guard play. 20 and 10 is great point guard play.
Right.
I need that 30, 10, and 8 game, that takeover game, that, all right, James Harden has a ride game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, that's what my man Gus from the Union show. Check those guys out tomorrow night at 9:00. Him and Austin Hamill, for all you Union fans out there. He says right here, he says we're going to need a Houston Harden a couple of these games with this Embiid injury. I totally agree with that. Yeah, I mean, hey, let's keep it real. I mean, Joel Embiid is the MVP of this league. It's pretty obvious. Anybody that doesn't think, I mean, I look at it like this. You ask the players in the NBA, they all say Joel Embiid is the MVP. Guys with calculators bringing up stats like VORP and all this other crap that I never even heard of, they say it's Jokic. Now, Jokic is a great player. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to diss Jokic, but I go by what the players say because they're the ones that go against the guy. So if the players say Embiid's the MVP, he's the MVP. And if he's not going to be at full strength, then Houston, James Harden, better get ready. You know what I'm saying? Get that club glitter off you or whatever, and get on board. You know what I'm saying?
Now he does look like he has a little bit more burst in this first couple of games. Like he's getting the guy off the dribble. It's just we need that shot. We need that shot to fall. That 11 for 17 game, like 65% shooting. He hasn't had it.
Yeah, let me ask you guys this. I mean, like Gus said, when a Houston game, that's when we want Harden to come back on. But let's look back at the Houston team he had. He was the alpha dog. His other player was Capello. He only scored on lobs. And you had Ben Gordon out there. That was really the only shooter they had, so he had to take over a game. Do you think that he can do it? I mean, knowing that we have Embiid and we have Harris and we have Maxey that's playing lights out right now, do you think Harden just feels in his head like, hey, I don't need to do this. I can just come out here and facilitate the ball and give me assists? I don't know, Diego.
Listen, I think he's got it in him.
Right.
I think he's got the 30-point game in him. Like, you don't just fall off your shot like that, like a snap of a finger. Right. I just feel like you just said, he's feeling pressure having to get everybody involved. And in my opinion, this game 5 is a game where get people involved, but bring your old self back. We need you to take a game over. Show us that you still got that. Because if you don't, then I agree with what Gus said. If we don't have Harden for them couple games that Embiid Stone's really bothering him, then we're not going to win a championship. Because he was brought here to be 1B. He was brought here to be Embiid's Robin. And right now he's being more of like the team facilitator, not Embiid's counterpart. That's supposed to be taking over games when Embiid's not there.
Right. Agreed.
And that's we all thought that's the Harden we were getting. We didn't think we were getting distributor. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, in the beginning, we thought about it when this trade went down. There was, pros and cons about it. But we all thought like there's only one ball to go around. Can these two get along? Now it's just like Harden saying, hey, Embiid, it's your show, brother. I'm just going to give you the ball. But that's not what we need, man. We need, just like you said, that 30. Embiid will drop 30 any night. Hey, Harden, if you give me 25, 30 game, man, that's all I need from you, brother. We got Maxey, Tobias, and, the bench is playing, they're playing good enough to win.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, speaking of that, Chris Rapizzi has a question here. He says, does Danny Green start? I mean, I think so. I think Danny Green's in the starting lineup now, considering Thibault being out the last few games. And then Sean Kilrain right here, he says, Maxey was 6th in voting for most improved player. John Mariette won it.
That's bullshit.
Said, I love Maxey. You can't really argue with Mariette.
6th place in most valuable. I mean, in most improved, 6th.
Come on, he's at least a finalist.
Come on, 6th place. God.
Now, I don't know if people look at him and go, all right, it's only his second year, and players make big jumps like that all the time from their first to their second year. I feel like in that most improved player, they're always looking for the guy who's been great, had that one-off season, and then comes back being great again. I guess John Morant's in his third, 4th year. I feel like they're looking for that guy who's been in the league and had a down season, and now he's really exploded, opposed to a guy who just got in the league and has made his first big jump, if that makes sense. I disagree with it.
I think the same damn people are voting most valuable player. Whoever said 6th in voting is just going to be – they're the ones picking Joker right now.
Honestly. I agree. It's absurd. I just think that's how Maxey ends up 6th. And people don't know nothing about Maxey.
Right.
That's another thing. No one knows about anything about Maxey until these first 2 playoff games. Because last year he was Maxey, but he wasn't Maxey.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's like it is what it is, and also I mean, there could be a little bit of process bias. I mean, it's a lot of the NBA really didn't like the process. You know what I mean? So that could be a factor right there. But I mean, speaking of Maxey, I feel like Maxey, he didn't have the biggest game in Game 4. I think Maxey comes out. I think Maxey gets at least 25 tonight. I think this is a Maxey night. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I could see that.
I'm still waiting on
his over's 18.5.
Yeah. I'm still waiting on the Harden game. And B can do it any night of the game. Maxey's already shown that he can take over 2 games. Like, dude, seriously, it's time for Harden. I mean, we're paying him $40 million a year. It's time for you to step up, man. It's your time.
I agree.
Like, come on, man.
I agree. I think I remember watching James Harden in Houston. He'd have them nights where it didn't matter. Dude, it didn't matter who was on him, what you were throwing at him. He was just stepping back and money in everyone's eye.
Man, I've
been waiting for it.
Yeah, he was just throwing a ball into an ocean and making it. That's what it looked like in Houston, man.
And I've been on the other end of that so many times, betting. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
on the other end where I'm like, dude, can someone stop this guy? Then when we get him, I'm like, yo, I'm going to be on this side now, and I haven't been yet. So.
Chris Rapizzi had a question. He wants to know, does Boston's first off, all right, we'll get into some of these other series right now because, all right, real quick. All right, actually, before we move on, all right. So prediction for tonight. Does anybody out there think the Sixers aren't winning? I feel personally, a double-digit win. Your guys' predictions for tonight.
I agree with you, Joe. Double-digit victory for the Sixers. It should be easy. Honestly, it should be at the point where we're up 20.
Yeah.
And we're celebrating for the next round.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, the book says 7. I took 7.5. The line's at 8 now. I think that's a low ass number right now. I'm looking at least a 10 to 15 point game. Definitely, I'm telling you right now, if you're betting, take the Sixers in the first quarter money line right now because that is easy money. They're going to come out with the vengeance. I think this is a blowout. Fourth quarter, we can all turn the game off and just have a drink. Honestly, I really think it's going to be that game.
Yep.
Yeah, if you think about it, you take the Sixers in the first quarter, Sixers get like a huge lead, right? And then they pull the usual, say they're up by like 25. Then so you already hit the first quarter. Then at the end, then you get Toronto plus like 18. You pull them and they get the Scribini at the end. You hit both sides. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Chris Rapizzi had a question here. He said, does Boston sweep the Nets? And by the way, I'd be remiss if I didn't get into, Ben Simmons. I mean, is he maybe the softest player you've ever seen in the history of the NBA and maybe even in sports?
Well, I don't know if you've seen that article that came out it's on Twitter, Joe. I'll send it to you. That there was a college analyst. We all know what he came out with, no jump shot. His team barely made the NCAA playoffs and he backed out. He didn't want to play.
Everyone.
He screwed it
every time.
I'm not playing. And that started from college. And the analyst said he's one of the most softest players with no heart, no determination to play. Now we look at that. Dude was spot on. Spot on.
I think he's pathetic.
Yeah.
And listen, I'm a Sixers fan, so I can't tell you it doesn't feel good to watch the Nets burn with Ben Simmons in a clown suit on the sideline.
Mm-hmm.
Because it feels good to watch that he's their problem now, and the whole world gets to see what the bad Philadelphia Sixers fans been saying. We've been dogging this guy, and we're so mean, and blah blah blah. Well, now everyone sees the clown that the Sixers been dealing with. Yeah. So it's actually pleasurable watching this all happen the way it's happening.
The only thing that they haven't seen yet is Ben won't shoot the ball. Hell, we can't even get on the damn court with the Nets. Now it's your problem. It's your babysitting job now, man. Hey,
yeah, exactly.
It's your problem now.
Right. Yeah. So I think he's pathetic, but it's been a joy to watch. He ain't ours now.
Yeah. Do they get does Boston close them out, or does Brooklyn find a way to get one tonight?
I don't think they close them down. I wouldn't even. Would you be surprised if Kyrie and KD somehow found a way to win 2 games or something like that and make it a series again? I wouldn't.
I don't know. I'm going with Boston tonight. I'm going with Boston.
On the sweep, I can't. Not in Brooklyn. I can't. It's similar to the Sixers situation. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I think I'm going to go with. I think I'm going with the Celtics tonight. The only way I can see the Nets coming out of this, Durant has to score 50, and Kyrie has to be that Robin to score 30. they have a nice bench, but I don't trust that bench. They're really soft out there. I think it's going to have to be just almost an 80-point game from Durant and Kyrie. That's the only way I can see this happening, and I don't see it in them. I really don't.
Man,
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, man, and I hate to say it as a guy that absolutely hates the Celtics with a passion, but the Celtics, they're they could easily get out of the East right now. I mean, the way they're playing. I mean, you got Jaylen Brown and Tatum are both going. I mean, like crazy. Like the other night, I was watching some of the fourth quarter, and like Brown was hitting some big jumpers. Yep. Tatum was hitting shots. Plus, the Celtics play great defense. They rebound. They do all the little things.
Marcus Smart, defensive player of the year. He's playing like it. And right now, they don't care about stats. Right now, they're playing as a team. And I mean, it's a night and day from 3 or 4 weeks ago. I mean, they went on the run late in the late season, but it's a huge turnaround. Now they're playing fundamental ball, man. Whatever wins, whoever the open man is. Like I seen Horford last night give up an easy layup to pass it out to Marcus Smart, who was red hot, hit a 3, and I'm like, wow, this is team ball.
Man, ball. I still got the Bucks beating Boston next series.
That's going to be a hell of a series, man.
Check this out. Talk about a championship team. They lose their second best player, arguably their most clutch player, on the road and come out and straight dominate the Bulls in a 2-1 game.
Yeah.
If that's not a championship squad and how championships respond to their second best player getting hurt, I don't know what is.
I mean, he goes out. I mean, Middleton goes out, and you got Grayson Allen comes in here. Looks like he's an all NBA player. Like next man,
I feel like
dedicated it.
When you play with a player like Giannis, that's so dominant, you know what I mean, and just like requires so much attention from everybody else. A guy like Grayson Allen can get off.
Right.
Because they're thinking, all right, well, they ain't got Middleton, so they're just going to feed it to Giannis. All the attention on Giannis. Grayson Allen goes out and kills him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, hey, all right. So, Paul has the Nets, Boston winning. Sean Kilrain he's with Paul. He likes the Nets. Chris Rapizzi, hang on, let me give my boy Mike Lauro from the Gobbler Show. He said, "What's up? What's up, Mike? How you doing?" Chris Rapizzi right here. He says the Heat ends it tomorrow versus the Hawks, so the Heat would be the Sixers' opponent for the next round. And I'll tell you that series could be an absolute war.
And the one thing I would watch. I mean, I've been watching all the playoffs like we all do, and I was watching that Heat game. It doesn't matter if the Heat's up 30 points; they don't take the foot off the pedal, man.
Nah, Spoelstra's great.
From the opening tip-off to the last horn, dude, they run and gun, whatever they want to run, and it never changes. That, to me, is going to be one hell of a matchup, man.
I'll tell you what, their defense is ridiculous. Yeah. Trae Young was being guarded by P.J. Tucker the other day, right? They come and set a screen on P.J. Tucker. Bam Adebayo switches onto him. Mm-hmm. He goes to try to go to the next pick. Jimmy Butler switches onto him.
Yes.
Trae Young doesn't know what to do. They got 5 guys that can switch on to any position at any time.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That is, and I still think Sixers, if Embiid was 100%, I think Sixers beat them because I think Embiid can get them into foul trouble, get Adebayo out of that game. You know what I mean? But if Embiid's hurt, I think it's a quick series for Miami. And like if he's hurt, like if he can't dominate games and Embiid 40 and 15, if you don't have 2 of them games in him, I got Miami beating us at 5 or 6.
Yeah, and to your point, Diego, just like we talked about Embiid passing out that double team, just like you said with Miami, they're fundamental, man. They know how to switch. They know how to play the passing lanes. Embiid does that BS, dude. It's fast break city for the Heat
all day.
Yeah, I mean, what's that?
What do you think?
I'll tell you, the Heat's a tough matchup. I mean, if you told me we had a healthy Joel Embiid, I say Sixers in 6. Honestly, but the fact if Embiid's going to be hampered and he's going to, and let's keep it real. I mean, Kyle Lowry's going to be smacked. He's from Philly. He's going to be, and Jimmy Butler's a dog. Yeah. Kyle Lowry's a dog. All them guys are street fighters.
They're going first.
They are going to be hitting that hand. So, and I give Embiid credit for playing. But if he's going to be sitting there looking at his thumb and, whining about it, and when I say whining about it, I still give him props for playing, but I'm saying he's got to keep it out of his mind. He's got to go out there and do what he's got to do. An injured Embiid, I'm going to say Miami beats us in 6, honestly. But I hope I'm wrong.
That's the
You know what I
thing.
mean?
Them dogs on Miami, they're going for the thumb.
Right.
You know,
Well,
like
that's my point.
that's going to be part of the game plan. Look, double him hard as soon as the game starts,
Yeah.
and both of you swipe down on that thumb. And I don't disagree with it because hey, you always got to take advantage of your opponent's issues. Like a boxer, when your right eye starts swelling, just keep going with that right eye. Well, they're going to do the same thing with Embiid's thumb. And Embiid likes to cry a lot and get his feelings a lot and emotions a lot. You know, so I think that could be a problem.
Yeah, just like, I mean, Joe, we talk about old school all the time, man. Can you imagine if this was set in the 80s and 90s? You're going to have a coach out there and saying, swipe that goddamn thumb, knock him out, make him hurt, make him think about, hey, we'll take a foul. Who cares? But now that's the only thing now I'm glad about is how the NBA's evolved into I want to say a diva league, but back in the day, man, Embiid would have had a broken finger right now, not a torn ligament. You know, somebody swiped down.
But they're playing against not a diva team.
Like
I know. Bower's not a diva. Kyle Lowry's not a diva. They're going to be swiping.
I know, yeah. And Spoelstra is a smart ass coach. People, I mean, look where he started. He was the what was he? The video choreographer.
Yeah.
When he started, now he's one of the most seasoned head coaches out there with rings. Like he's a smart coach. And you know, hey, if it comes down to it, hey, buddy, you're the 12th man on the squad. Go out there and swipe down on the hand. Take me a foul. You know, we'll get you out right after. Don't worry.
Yeah. It's almost like Karate Kid. Sweep the leg.
Exactly. You know sweep the leg. Hey.
Yeah, but
that's part of sports. That's part of sports.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? The quarterback's ankle's bummed. Try to tackle him down by his ankle.
Exactly.
The guy gets got the game. That's sports.
It only football only costs you 15 yards. Here it only costs you 2 free throws and maybe an interception, whatever you want to do.
Exactly. Hey, so I mean, if Embiid's gonna have 20 touches, he's getting swiped 20 times.
Right. Exactly. Make him think about it. Hey, you want to come down here? You want to be the guy? You're gonna feel the pain. You're gonna feel it.
Embiid, he's so good that he has the potential and the talent to turn that pain into dominance.
Sure.
Right.
You know, like he made that three he dominated that third quarter after the thumb injury the other night in game 3. So if he comes out like that, he could really deflate a team that's trying to hurt him. Yeah. You know, like, yo, we got to smack in his hand. Now the other team's thinking we got to swat down in his hand and B's taking the game over.
But then it comes down to, like we talked with Harden. Okay, we know Maxey can play. Okay, but Tobias is showing up. Everybody's showing up except for the Harden we're looking at. To me, if I'm Embiid, I'm saying, hey, I'm taking the pain. I'm playing with this torn ligament. Brother, I need you now. I'm going to take the double teams. Now it's your turn to take over this game. Let me be the decoy. Drive the lane. Get your shots. It's time for you to show up. I know I can do it, but, bro, I got a torn ligament. I need your help. I mean, that's what I'm waiting for. You know, I know Embiid can do it.
Yep, I agree with you. That's why I started the show off. Like, just give me a James Harden game.
Yeah.
You know?
Hey, well,
just let me know you still got it.
Yeah, well, let's be honest. I mean, hey, you know, obviously we're having, you know, since I had some technical difficulties and, you know, the game's coming on soon, so we're going to wrap up in a little bit. But before we do, you know, we have another huge event coming up Thursday, and you know that we got the Philadelphia NFL draft, and you know the Eagles have picks 15 and 18, I believe. So I saw a couple rumors out there today. That said the Eagles, according to I think it was Todd McShay, I believe. Apparently they love that kid from Alabama. That kid,
Jameson Williams.
Yes. I don't think he's going to be there at 15. So what's that?
I think he's gone before that.
So do I, Paul. So do I. In fact, I think a lot of teams love him because I feel like they think he could be like a Tyreek Hill type guy.
Yeah, I mean, his speed. The only thing is he's coming off that injury that he suffered in the national championship game. But, I mean, this kid is a natural talent. Speed, possession. He reminds me of the guys you guys got, Devontae Smith. I mean, he reminds me of that. But to me, he's a little bit – I want to say seasoned, but he's a little bit more what's the word? I want to say possession-wise receiver. He likes the slants mostly. And he can take the top off just like Devontae Smith. And if you guys got him, man, I'm in serious shit over here. I don't know how the hell to stop all that. I'm serious, you know.
I'm all in for Jameson Williams. I don't think he's going to be there, but sometime these drafts, especially this draft, we don't even know who the consensus number 1 is. Usually we at least know the first guy that's going.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at Aiden Hutchinson, Thibodeau. You don't even know anymore. Then the guy O'Neal from Alabama as well. there is no consensus number one. I mean, it's a deep draft, but I
Right.
think it's deep because there is no proven 1 to 10, exactly 1 to 10 limit. I think it's deep because we don't really know. They're stars, but we don't know the limit of what they are right now.
Right. But when that happens, everyone that means everyone's got different boards, like you said, 1 through 10, 1 through 18. Well, when everyone's got a different board, then players are going to start coming off the board are going to be there when it gets to you.
Yeah.
That's how Jameson Williams drops to us. By a bunch of little couple things going different in front of us, that changes the whole draft board going down.
I mean, I agree with Sean right there. I think he might go to Washington out there. And honestly, Pittsburgh kind of seems a logical deal for him right now because they lost, Washington. I think it's a logical thing for Pittsburgh too. If they don't, because they signed in Trubisky. I don't know if he's the real deal, but you look at where they can, just like you said, you need to take best available when it drops. That's what you need to do.
La Canfora got the Commanders taking Hamilton at 11.
I don't think he drops that far. I don't think he drops that far.
Yeah. They're talking about him dropping though. Now he's not the only guy saying he's dropping. I don't know why. I think he's an absolute beast. Top 5.
I'm a Notre Dame fan. I don't miss the games, and I tell you, this kid is a projected plug and play player. But they're saying what the reason was because of his pro day at the combine. He didn't run a 4.3 speed.
So did it happen twice?
What's that?
Did it happen twice? Because I knew the combine he didn't run a good 40.
It was the combine. It was the combine that he didn't run the exact what the safety was he projected. But dude, I watched Notre Dame games. This kid is fundamentally sound. As a freshman, 3 picks in the first 2 weeks. This kid is sound. I mean, I don't think he drops. I don't think he comes out top 6. He's in top 6 easy.
Even in the 40, he ran in the draft. If you watch it, he takes like a step off to the right and kind of like zigs off a little bit, and he still ran a pretty good time. If he just straightens that out, he's running the time they want him to run. So I don't understand why he's dropping. On like 3 boards I seen, he dropped out of the top, like the top 7.
Yeah,
I don't. You know what? I'll believe it when I see it because I like Paul. I'm also a Notre Dame fan, just like Paul is, and this kid is the real deal. I mean, he looks to me like a Devin James type guy. You know what I mean? The guy from the Chargers.
Yeah,
Derwin James, right? Yeah,
Derwin James.
Yeah. But I mean, this kid can really play. He can make all the plays, and getting into guys that might. I mean, here's an interesting thing right here. Mike Lauro says the Jags are looking to trade the number 1 pick. I heard that too. I actually saw I don't know how legit this is, but I actually saw a rumor that Carolina may try to get up to number 1 to get ahead of Detroit because Detroit may go quarterback. And then real quick, I know we're talking football now, but still early yet, but Boston's up 21-10 over Brooklyn already.
Yeah, and Nets quit.
Yeah, they did.
That's if they quit, they quit. Then Boston's going to put them away today.
Oh, yeah.
I just didn't think KD would quit, but I mean, how about that, though? If that's LeBron James that's doing what KD's doing right now, he's getting destroyed. He could never be Michael Jordan. He could never be one of the greats. He could never be this. Here Kevin Durant is with Kyrie Irving next to him getting absolutely demolished by the Boston Celtics, who were like the 6th seed at the All-Star break.
Yeah. And
Come on. Talk about legacy. Who needs Steph Curry now?
No, I hear you. And then here's Sean Kilrain. He says Ritter or Corral is going to Pittsburgh. I could see that. You never know. I could see that. But yeah, man. And then so the Eagles could go a lot of different directions. I mean, I saw there's all kinds of mock drafts out there. I mean, I saw one that had the Eagles going D tackle. That kid, the kid from Georgia, the real what was it, Jordan Davis?
Jordan
I believe
Davis,
his name is.
That kid's a freak.
What's that?
That kid's a freak. Did you see his combine?
Oh yeah, and you know what's ironic too? The other kid from Georgia, up until a couple weeks ago, I think he was supposed to be a 1st-round pick, and then I think his name's Wyatt or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I was reading that a lot of teams have him off the draft boards. He's got like character issues or something. So he, because how that happens.
Yeah, he's a perfect pick for the Dallas Cowboys.
Exactly.
Hey, I just lost connection. What's going on? I just lost connection. I didn't hear that. What would you say? And he fits in just fine for us, man. We got some locks and chains and some handcuffs for him, so he'll fit in. Why not?
Yeah, Mike Lauro says Wyatt is a beast. I agree, but hey, you know what? I mean, if he could last to the 2nd or 3rd round, maybe you get value because that's let's keep it real. A lot of teams take these character guys and you don't want to spend a first round pick on them, but if it's second or third round, it's a little easier. You start looking at the talent and not so much the character. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know we got the draft Thursday night. And speaking of Devontae Wyatt, here's my draft right here. I know you guys can't focus in on it, but I have Devontae Wyatt going to 27 to the Buccaneers. I think he drops that far.
27 to the Bucks.
I think he drops that far, just like he's. I mean, I updated this maybe a couple of days ago, but I'm hearing the off-field issues. A lot of people don't like that. I mean, it's stupid.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It's the NFL. Just like that. What is that called? The Wonderlic test?
Yeah, the Wonderlic test.
What the hell does that mean, dude? Like a paper test?
Yeah, it's dumb.
It's stupid as hell.
Yeah. So, but anyway, hey man, we got the draft, and obviously it's going to be a big NFL draft.
Mm-hmm.
It's there's going to be a lot to get into. I mean, we don't know if the Eagles go receiver, they could go corner. They could go corner. I mean, do you guys think maybe they go corner? Maybe they trade up for like a Stingley or something. Maybe.
Would you be surprised, Joe, if the guy they want, for example, Jameson Williams, comes up and he's gone? Do you trade back out of 15 because you don't love anybody at 15? You got 18 coming up anyway.
I don't think you do. I think they put it 15 and 18. I really do.
Well, especially if a team like Pittsburgh, say you're sitting there at 15, and say Willis is already gone, Pickett's gone, and Pittsburgh has a hot nut for say a Ritter or a Corral, you can move down to 20 and maybe pick up their second round pick or an extra third round pick. You're only moving down 5 spots, so that could be a possibility. I mean,
because they're so low. For example, they're so in love with Williams and they have him at 15. He comes to us, we'll take him. But then if not, you don't love anybody at 15, but your next guy on the board's Devin Lloyd, who still probably be there at 18. You just trade back at 15, then you just take the guy you want at 18, add another pick, and you know what I'm saying? Move back to 20.
I think it all comes down to what's available right there, your draft needs. I mean, if you're looking at Lloyd, I think he's going to project maybe 21, 22 position maybe. I mean, I was looking at it, I know Dallas wouldn't want him, but I mean, if he's best player available, Lloyd, I think Lloyd is the best linebacker in the draft right now.
I agree.
I agree.
He was an unsung guy under the radar because he plays at Utah. But listen, let me tell you, this dude, fundamentally, he's ready to go. And he
could ball.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, everybody's looking at these other guys, but I think Devin Lloyd was the top projected linebacker in the draft, even before the draft even came out this year.
I agree. Yeah. He's the best one because he's the only one staying up there in the ranks. And Kobe Dean just kept falling and falling and falling. Yeah. Where's he projected to go now?
I was just looking at when I see him. I have him at actually. Damn, I got to scroll down that far. Jeez.
Damn.
That's what I'm saying. I think he's dropping. I think he's going to go and maybe I'm looking. I don't even have it on here. Okay, look at it. Yeah, I think he's going to be projected late first, possibly. I mean, he's going down in the rankings right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Mike Lauro Harris from Alabama, I like that kid too. He may be an option. Maybe if you're say in the second round, he might not last all the way to our pick, but maybe if you're there, maybe if the Eagles you trade down from 18, pick up an extra pick, then you move back up to get a guy like him. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's always a possibility. But anyway, yeah, it's almost Sixers time, and I know we're kind of wrapping up a little early here because had some technical difficulties. So
I was just looking at the line real quick. The line's 211 for the over tonight. I'm going to take over that.
Over 211, I like that.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go -8 over 211. That seems like easy for me.
And in case anybody's wondering, the Phillies still haven't scored a run. They're down 2-0 in the top of the third. I'm not. You know what? I'm not panicking on the Phillies yet. It's not hitting season yet, so I'm not going to panic yet. It's too early, and I know they lost last night, which was very frustrating. They lost 1-0, but at least Nola pitched well, and so at least that's a silver lining.
I know we're getting off, but real quick, I didn't watch the game last night. I was watching something different, but I heard something comment that the official last night behind the plate, he was like he had so many missed calls that they projected like 15 missed calls or something like that from the
officials, umpires in the MLB out of like 100% for the game, they usually are on point about 94% of the time.
Right.
Hey, the human eye is going to miss about 6% of the time. You know what I mean? This dude was only right on 88% of his pitches.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a big discrepancy. That's 12%. That means you're missing 12 out of 100 pitches, bro. That changes the game. Don't get me wrong. That helped Nola a lot too. But
Yeah.
And this guy has been known for, like, man, I don't know much about baseball, but according to everyone that knows about baseball, he's been trash the same exact way since he came into the league 20 years ago.
Yeah, that's what they were saying on Twitter this morning. They were saying, like, this is the worst officiating back umpire ever in MLB history. Like, he can't see shit. He's blind.
And it's been like that. So he must have some dirt or something on the MLB. And his job's secure no matter what he calls.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, if you ever wanted to make a case for robo umps, Mike Lauro has right here. Hernandez was brutal last night. So if you ever want to make a case for robo umps, just show him, because
I don't want to do that, but he makes a good case for it. And someone who's arguing the fact is bringing up Angel Hernandez numbers, like, this is why we need a bot, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but anyway, hey, let's get ready to roll, because it's 7:35 and we got tip off coming up in 25 minutes. So, like I said earlier, we got on the Sixers. We're all anticipating a nice little rocking chair ride tonight. Listen to my man Paul Spencer, because he'll make you some money. He said to bet the first quarter on the Sixers.
I think that's the easy money line. Right? I think that's his smart play right there, honestly.
Yeah, I'm doing that right now.
There you go. Yeah, get on there. And
I am taking them I'm taking them for the first quarter and the first half. I think they're blowing them out by halftime.
Too. I think I'm going to do a little smart play. I think I'm going to take a minus. Well, let's go first quarter money line. It's going to go now. You know what? -3 on the first quarter. We're going to go there, and we're going to go first half, and we're going to go Sixers -8. We're going to go Harden 20 and Embiid 30, Maxey 20, and I think we're going to go over. I think we're going to go over 215 tonight.
All right, let's go.
Right, let's do it. And you know what? Maybe we should have asked John Lee, that he could have told us what not to bet. Right?
Yeah, don't ask John Lee.
Just do the opposite.
But anyway, hey, Mike Morris, see you, buddy. See you guys out there. Make sure you check out all the shows on Devereaux Sports. Let's go Sixers. Check out tomorrow night we got the Union show coming up, 9 o'clock.
I think they're at 9 p.m. and then we got the news show. Fight Club.
Slater Sinbin's on at 1, right?
Yeah, Slater Sinbin is on at 1 o'clock tomorrow with Harry Slater. Tomorrow night at 9 o'clock, we got Gus Seminaro, Austin Hamill with the attacking third. And then right after that, the new Fight Club 215 show is going to be all about the UFC. Then we have the 215 boys on Wednesday.
All right, let's go. And make sure you check out Body Slams on Thursday. Check out the Gobbler Show on Sunday at 9 o'clock. And the Sully Squad will be back in full force next Monday. Hopefully we'll have the full squad next week, and I guess we will be going over we'll be talking Sixers Heat, I think and also Eagles draft, because we'll have a lot to get into. So,
and Joe, Thursday night we have our draft show at 8 o'clock, Joe.
That's right. Check out the draft show, 8 o'clock Thursday night.
Guys, I'm in
definitely. Hell yeah, 8 o'clock too. We got you covered for the first entire round.
Ready? Check this out though, guys. If the Sixers, I don't want to put this out there, but they lose tonight, their next game is on draft night.
Oh, I hate that.
Yes, Thursday.
I know that's gonna be. You know what? That'll be a 2 TV special, because I'll have the Sixers I'll have the Sixers with the sound down, because I never miss the draft. It's like my favorite day of the year.
Me too.
Yeah, so we could be in a predicament. So let's end this shit tonight. Let's go.
Let's go. Yeah. Let's go Sixers, baby.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
See you guys.
All right.
Later.